Hey, good morning. All right, so we are already introducing carbs. We're trying to stick with our portion controls and different nodes. We want to make sure that our proteins are staying high. I'm still not up to like 150 grams of protein, so we're still working in calorie deficits for the most part. Although yesterday wasn't a huge one, and then I ended up having a sugar treat at the end of the night. I had one of those orange slices that are candied. Bad girl. But back to track because we're allowed to do that. If you have a little slip up, you just get back up on the sidewalk. It's all good. So today and tomorrow we are doing broth testing because again we treat these fasts, these purifications of our body. We try to clean everything out so that we can test to see what things do to us. Once we have a neutral, now we know what makes us gain weight and how what we can avoid if we want to not gain weight. There's certain treats that we can just have once a year or something. I probably won't be getting those candied oranges again anytime soon. So I'm starting off my morning with my marine collagen tea, along with I have my creatine water, so it gets me super hydrated. So I'm gonna go get on my 4 mile hike. I'm going to work today, so I really do want to be eating normal. I don't want to be on any kind of semi-fasted mode. But we were curious about that bone broth. So I was curious about other types of fasting. We're not going to get to that this weekend. I'm going to keep going through generalized food testings and things like that just to try to basically maintain the weight loss that we got from last week into next week. Do I expect to keep every single pound gone? Honestly, yes. I think it might fluctuate a little bit in the beginning when I'm first getting used to having all the calories. But I actually think that it is going to keep coming down just like it did last time. I do expect to end up somewhere in the 153 to 152, even possibly lower range because I'm going to keep going with this. So I've designed 2 days that were basically veggie days. I've got mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. I've got purple yams. I've got Brussels sprouts. And the last thing I got, a leafy salad with, I got baby spinach and arugula. And then I got kale microgreens, radishes, and just a couple other things in there just to make a basic salad. So this was actually my most expensive day. I'm paying like $12 a day to eat, and it's not even including my supplements. So we're talking like $15 a day to eat the vegetables, ironically. But the eggs are so cheap at Costco and stuff, so that's really been helping keep the budget in. The beans are always so cheap, that keeps the budget down. The bone broth is practically a byproduct of chicken that we already ate, so that keeps the budget down. There's certain things that I can count on to help make this budget friendly, but unfortunately, vegetables are expensive. And that's okay. We're gonna eat those too anyway. So the only difference is the mushroom, the shiitake mushrooms, I'm going to turn into like a bone broth mushroom soup. And, I'm going to have the salad, the sweet potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. I have cold in kind of, I roasted them in olive oil last night to kind of prep them. And so those are going to be in lunch. I'll have the bone broth when I get home because that's going to be out in the road. Or I'll probably just actually have uh, a cold green collagen tea while I'm out at work. Some kind of variation of that because I will be out and about. And we do want to be flexible for things like that because we have lives. We also want to be flexible enough to be able to go to a restaurant later. So just, to keep that in mind, this is just because I'm doing an experiment. So I want to make sure I eat the exact same food every day to prove that either organic or non-organic chicken broth is better. So I could lose every single bit of progress because I find out that the non-organic chicken broth is bad, but I would learn something and it would teach me for the next time around. Again, we don't treat weight gain as a loss. As long as you're paying attention to what you were doing that day and you know exactly what was added that was strange. This is the reason why we do all this elimination. Because if we suddenly add one thing back and we gain like 5 pounds that day, you can be like, bad ingredient for me, and literally just never have it again. So as much as I would love to have a $5 chicken with chicken broth recipe, just like I use regular eggs instead of organic eggs, it would be lovely if I can pull that off. If I can't pull it off, well, then I suppose I won't. So again, a little bit of a short video, but we're into our more easy normal nodes. Just giving you a rundown of the experiment that I'm going to be running for the next 2 days. I will give you updates on weight gain from both days, and we will see where to go from there. I hope you're having an easy time with your weight goals. I hope that you are enjoying going to different nodes, experimenting to see what different foods do to you so that you can have that exciting, wonderful, expanded palette of things that you enjoy guilt-free. Cheers.